Accu 2506 here. Got a unboxing of a Savage 308. It's an Axis 2 XP, and got my good buddy Keith McDonald running the camera for me today. This is actually his rifle, and I was talked him into bringing it down to the house so we could do a unveiling of it, I guess, so to speak. But for the most part, this video is just going to be a what are the pros and cons, what does this rifle actually stack up to, and for the most part, this is a budget beginner, somebody that's getting into deer hunting rifle. He chose the 308, which is a really good caliber. It has good ballistics, well-known bullet. So as far as the knockdown power, it's going to be there. And we're just going to jump right into it. This gun came from Academy Sports. It was $449. I think you can get a couple guns out there that are a little bit cheaper. This gun came factory with a scope. This is the Bushnell Banner Dusk Till Dawn, which is a pretty decent scope for a beginning rifle. You can get them off Amazon for about 90 to 100 bucks, depending on where you get it from. The scope has some really good low light qualities to it. I really like that. One of the things that we talked about was this gun comes with an all-weather barrel, which for $449 with an all-weather barrel that's gonna, not rust as easy as some of your black or blue barrel, that's a good quality for little money, so to speak. But for the most part, when you look at the gun, the initial take, I mean, it's a pretty gun. The stock, I'm not real pleased with the ergonomics, the feel of the rifle. It's there for me. One thing that I do not like that Savage did was these spacer plates are for the adjustable length of pull for the trigger. They didn't come with any extras. Now, for me, shooting this rifle, I mean, that's not bad. I can pull back on the gun to get it full in view of where I need it to be in the scope. But reality is you just kind of want it sitting there, But I think for the stock part, I mean, I think they could probably upgrade, but being that this is a budget rifle, they're probably trying to cut costs where costs need to be cut, and they just don't put the extra money in it. One thing I do like about this particular rifle is the Accu Trigger, and the trigger in the trigger, Accu Trigger, they've had it out for a long time. I'll go over how to adjust it real quick. You got two bolts, one here. You got a long one that goes right here. I already pulled it out for time. But then you just simply pop the barrel off of the stock, flip it over, and there's a tool. Savage gives you this little tool here, and if you can see right there, that spring, you slide that tool in there and spin it. You run it counterclockwise to loosen or lighten the trigger pull, or you turn it clockwise to tighten it up. For this one, we got it turned all the way down. It's down, I think what we say it was, I think we got it down to 2.4 pounds, which is pretty good, especially for a budget rifle and something that has a trigger that you don't have to take to a gunsmith to adjust or set, and to reinstall it, you just simply slide it back into the stock, push it back down, reapply your screws. And tighten them up. There's probably a torque on it, but you know, the old German good and tight is probably good for putting it back together. You can put some Loctite on it if you want to. And then once you get them tightened back down, you know, just reinstall your clip. As far as the barrel, I'm really impressed with the barrels on Savages. They're supposed to be 1 inch MOA straight from the factory, which is pretty good. They guarantee that. Which we're going to go test that here in a little bit. We're going to actually take this rifle down to the range and actually shoot it. We're going to set his scope for him. The big thing about buying a budget rifle, when you're going in, you have a certain amount of money to spend, and if you look, you can find a rifle that is good enough or within your budget. Now, as far as this video, I'm not trying to compare whether Savage is better or Ruger's better or Mossberg or any of those other brands. We're not trying to get into that. I'm just saying, and I'm just doing a video on this particular Axis 2 XP. And one thing about this particular rifle that I did notice, we did go ahead and clean it, and I don't know if you can see that, but this barrel was fairly clean. I was actually impressed with, you know, the quality control of when they put the barrel out here. It's got a little CLP on it, but I've gotten brand new rifles straight out of the box that were just plumb nasty, needed to be cleaned, whatever. One thing that I'm hoping is this gun supposedly was factory bore sighted from the factory. So theoretically speaking, we shouldn't have much shooting to go through to get this gun on target. But I do have another product that when we're down there, I want to go over that with you. And it will really keep you from shooting a lot of rounds just to try to get your gun back on zero or wherever you want it shooting at. So for, I guess the initial, I give it about a C plus for quality, for the cleanliness, the quality of the scope that it comes with for being a budget rifle, under $500. The stock, I think Savage could do a little bit better on the stock, especially, go ahead, I mean, them little spacers can't be much money. I mean, you know, I think if you're gonna buy something and you're really not sure what length of pull you need to shoot, buying something that has an adjustable stock is a bonus and a benefit, even if it's $10 more. Now, speaking of the $10 more, Academy don't sponsor us, nobody sponsors us, no, we don't have any affiliation with anything. I will say this, I was very dissatisfied with Academy when Keith went to buy this rifle. It was listed for $449 plus tax. He had to pay $10 extra to run a background check. There may be other big stores that do that. I don't know. Every store I've ever bought something from, and I've never bought a gun from Academy, so I didn't know that. They do not charge you for that. The only time I've ever been charged for background checks is if I have a gun shipped in to a dealer and I'm taking possession of it from him. They usually run 20 to 25 bucks depending on the dealer, which I get that. So to buy a gun from them and then they charge you another 10, I mean, so now you're at $449 plus 10, you're at $459, $460 basically plus tax. Is the gun worth it? we're still out on that. We're gonna find out here in a minute. We're gonna go get the range set up, get the lead sled out, shoot it, see what it looks like. But as far as weight, the gun's not heavy. I don't know exactly what they're listed at, but if I had to guess, it's somewhere around 6.5, 7 pounds, maybe somewhere around in there. Not too heavy for a rifle with a scope on it. We don't have a sling on it yet, but not bad. So like I said, about a C+ so far. There's still some stuff that could make that grade go up, and there's some stuff that can make it go down. You know, as far as the finish, for being a budget rifle, there's one little scratch right here on the scope, but for the most part, I mean, it's a clean little rifle. Actually impressed with some of the features that this rifle comes with. Now I will say this, I'm not a big fan of a closed ejection port right here. I kind of like them a little bit bigger, because especially if you're shooting on a bench and you got it in a vise, you got to take the gun out of the vise, put a bullet in the clip, put the clip back in the gun. I like to just leave it open, drop a shell in, slam it home, and you shoot without having to really mess it up, especially if you're trying to shoot, you know, to set a scope, because when you're setting a scope, you want to eliminate all the variables of movement and this, that, and other. So you kind of want to keep the gun as close to the same position as it actually was in when you fired it. Other than that, I think we need to take it down there and let it eat, see what it'll do. We'll catch you down at the range.